Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or hello. Welcome to WWJ, Whipping with Joe, from the island of Kauai, Hawaii. We have numerous requests on the setup. This is dedicated to Danny, because he was one of the first to ask how to do the setup here. So basically, we've got, let's say this is the reel. I've already got 20-pound braid in the reel. This is the Spheros. I was using a Spheros. We put about 225 yards. And this would be the braid. So I had 20-pound braid in the reel, coming out from the reel, about 100 yards. And the top end, connected with the uni, is the 50-pound braid, which was red. If you look at the video, it's red. And how I do the connection is a double uni. So you go one here, and then you go loop here, and then you're going to go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Come on top and pull it slowly. You want to make sure that it doesn't wrap up. So it's got to be like smooth. So pull it slowly. And then go to the other side and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Okay, and then hold the end of the other one so it doesn't move. And pull this end again and try not to jumble it up, so you want to make it smooth. You can wet it. Okay, and pull it tight. Okay, so now you pull both ends tight. And pull this end here on the top. Put that in on top, and basically now all you do is cut it. So I normally keep this with me all the time because this is what I can use with braid. I can always cut it. Very simple, very sharp, and light, easy. One of those Swiss knife, Swiss Army knife. That's what I use. Okay, so you cut it, and basically that's about it. So you got the braid, which is from the reel, which in this case I was using a Spheros. And then you got them right in here, tight right here. Pull it, make it tight. You can make it wet and pull it and make it tight. Now this one here is on top end. Okay, I put it in about 125 yards of 50-pound braid. So you got 20 in the reel. Now we're gonna put 125 yards on the top end. So anyway, you go all the way in. You got 125 yards to the spool. You know, fill up the spool, and then you're gonna end up to the braid. This is the braid. So let's see, everything's in your reel. Let's put this here. Everything's in your reel. And this comes out of the rod. And this is your braid. Now the setup for the lure. This is 80-pound Andy. That's what I use. So we got 20 for the blue, 50 in the red in the movie, in the movie that you see. And then we've got swivel at 80. So in this case, we've got the swivel. In this one here, what I use is, all my lures are already got 80-pound Andy on it. So I use a surgeon's nut. Okay, surgeon's nut is this way, 1, a loop, and 1, and 2. I do this knot because it's the memory of my father, because he uses this nut for his lure fishing when I was younger. So you snip it, make it tight, and there we go. Okay, so now this goes to the swivel. This is a power swivel, rated at about 130 pounds. I don't think you need more than that. It's up to you. So we thread this now, surgeon's knot to the swivel. Okay. And now I pull it from here to my left arm and all the way out to the left side of me. Okay. From there to my mouth is about 36 inches. Okay. So I take a little bit more, and then I make another loop here. Okay. And this is where I cut it. So you got about 3.5 foot a leader. Okay. Now this end here, this is where we make the Rapala loop knot. The Rapala loop knot, this goes to the lure. So now I do it one like so, make a loop like so. This is the lure. This is the lure that caught 3 GTs. They caught 2 milos. They caught a 16-pound omilo in 1 week. The second week caught a 20-pound omilo. And then the next week cost me the 100-pound GT. I've added 3 BBs to this thing. This is prototype number 1 for the Kako lure. I added 6 BBs. It's a 1.4 ounce. Added the rings and the hooks, and the total weight now becomes 1.7. So 1.7 ounce lure, and the weight is in the back end. Flies very good, and it's perfect for what I'm using with a 7-foot rod with 50-pound braid. It told us about 80 yards, 85 yards. Okay, so we've got the it's called a Rapala loop knot. So we make a loop here, like so. Now this free end here goes in the loop. I don't use a swivel, okay? People use swivel, like, it's up to you. This is what I use though. I don't use swivel. I like the action of the lure in this fashion. You go right through it. Now you're gonna go 3 times. So you put your index finger and thumb on top of this one. You're gonna go 3 times over the main line. 1, 2, and 3. And it comes back, and you put it right in this hole right here. See it? Right through here. And then go back in the other hole on the other side, loop, and then pull it tight. Pull this in tight. Normally you can get a swivel or a plier. And then snip it here. Okay. So there we go. This is the Rapala loop knot right there. So you notice that there's a lot of action to it. It's free. When you put a swivel, it adds weight to it. But that's me. It's up to you what you want to do. But I've been doing this ever since I started whipping. Okay? So now you've got this. So now what I do is I normally put this like so, and I put this in the bag. This would be one of the lures that I bring. I bring 2 lures, one on the rod and one here. So now if you want to use it, you just take it out and put it out. Okay? So now we're going to attach this. We attach this thing to the braid. Okay? I don't use like the FG knot, and I'll tell you why I don't use FG knot and all that. So now this comes from the rod tip. Okay, this is a 50-pound braid. Okay, in this case, I've got a lot of braid here, but I'm just showing you what I do. So now we do a uni. We just go right through the swivel, come up here, make a loop, and go 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, pull it tight. Oops. Oops. Pull it tight. Make sure it's not jumbled up. You want to make it smooth at least. Oops. So normally we can make it wet. And then pull it again. And that's it. Okay? And snip it. So, this is what we got. We've got 20 pound in the spool of the 6-case ferrules, about 100 yards. And then we use a union nut to connect to the 50-pound braid. It's all Power Pro. And then after you got that, the reason why I use 125 yards is when you throw the lure, you probably don't reach 100 yards. So I need about 80, I throw about 80, 85 yards. And then the rest you've got inside, you still got backing in there. So when I say the backing's out, that means I've already got 125 yards out to the fish. So I normally want to bring in that portion of the braid, which leaves me 125 out. Once that backing gets in, I can force more of the fish, because remember in the beginning part I've got 20 out, so you got 20 with a union knot to the 50. So you might have it might not be good because you get 20 to 50. So but I don't force the fish as much there. But when the backing is in, which is the 50-pound, then I can apply more pressure to the fish. Okay, so here we go. So we've got the unit to the swivel. We've got the surgeon's nut right here, and then we got 3-4 feet a leader, 80-pound Andy. We got the Rapala loop knot, and that's it. Okay, this is what I use for my setup, and this setup was used for the GT, which is called the Epic, which was the 100-pound fish, and we officially weighed in at 99.2 on a certified scale, 3 hours after we caught it. But that's it. So that is my setup for GTs. Very simple. And like I said, the reason why I use this series is that now, let's say I want to go for small game, okay? If I'm going for moi, ninu, or kala, then all I do is I take the lure out, I snip it here with the braid, and then now I can connect this with an 8-pound test with the weight, whatever you're using, 8-pound test, which I use for ninu and kala, moi and papio. and that's what I use. So then I can fish for small game. So I'm into the process, not process, but my technique is to go with one rod, one reel, and I can fish for all kinds of fish. Simple, very simple technique, but it does work. So anyway, we thank you very much for watching. And again, this is WWJ, Whipping with Joe, in the island of Kauai. Aloha.